is it, Doc?
1.21 gigawatts of electricity. Do you know how much energy that is? Why, it's preposterous. It would take over 1 million solar panels to create that much energy.
What are we gonna do, Doc?
I don't know, Marty. I gotta think.
Wait a minute, Doc. What if we use a train to push the DeLorean?
That's a crazy idea. The future's fried your brain, kid.
There are all kinds of energy, right? Solar, wind, biomass?
I'm not putting algae in my time machine.
Well, we gotta find a solution.
I know. Great Scott! I've got it. We need lots of energy. I know where we can get the resources to get it. Right here.
The Arrowhead Center?
Precisely. Our flux capacitor has tremendous potential. Once powered, it can store huge amounts of energy in a tiny space. It will solve all problems related to energy storage, from electric vehicles to iPhones to intergalactic travel.
That's heavy, Doc. That's heavy.
Well, actually, it's lightweight. The Arrowhead Center has all the resources that we need to harness so that we can bring the flux capacitor to market and revolutionize the energy industry for all mankind.
What's an iPhone?
New Mexico State University is all about transforming lives through discovery. Our students come here to discover themselves. They major in various disciplines. They discover new friends, new networks, new ideas about how to transform their lives going into the future. But we have a lot of discovery here that goes on in research. And we're particularly fond of the research that we do in energy.
I'm a professor at New Mexico State University. My business, King Engineering and Associates, is a tenant and member at the Arrowhead Technology Incubator.
I'm a student here at NMSU. I work here at the Arrowhead Center, and I'm also starting a company, 35 Solar.
I'm a graduate student at the College of Engineering here at NMSU and a member of the Arrowhead commercialization team. I'm also involved in the 35 Solar company.
I manage 90,640 acres here in the valley.
I'm the founder of Remote Well Solutions of Cloudcroft. We're a manufacturer of off-grid pumping plants.
This is the red hot spot for solar energy. And we think we should be making solar panels here, and we should be installing solar panels. In 5 years, we hope to be a leader in thin film solar panel manufacturing. We hope to be driving solar panel installations here in the region and supporting renewable energy in the United States.
What I envisioned in 5 years ago here was harnessing energy. Just a natural flow of water coming through these canals. It's been coming through these canals for over 100 years. I went to my engineer and I went to my consultant, Phil King, and said, hey, I want to build this project.
The energy-water nexus. What are we going to do about it? You need energy? Well, you need water. You need water to make energy.
We're taking a 100-year-old irrigation system with very few modifications in that time and fitting it with state-of-the-art hydroelectric generating capabilities.
Attracting private investment is a critical factor in translating the innovation that we do at universities into the private sector. And that's the niche that Arrowhead helps NMSU develop, is that interaction between innovation and ideas that are futuristic and turning those into economic reality.
As an entrepreneur, I need to have an expansive mind. And I see many innovative ideas when I come in contact with the researchers at NMSU.
When we started 35 Solar, we only had an idea and everybody would praise us on that idea, but we didn't know how to go about going forward with the idea and actually making it a reality.
Now, I was an electrical engineer for 30 years and I specialized in power and controls, so developing the system wasn't really all that difficult for us. I never realized there was such a challenge on the business side. I actually thought all we had to do was just have a good idea like we had, prove it, and then just wait for customers to come. It wound up being very different than that. The business development side was much different than anything I had expected and much more challenging.
When someone asked me how big is my company, I said about 6'5", 180, because I am basically it.
That's over 1.5 megawatts of energy that I could provide to the rural communities and even sell it back to.
In order to do this right, I have to do the strategic planning, the structuring of the business, etc. And the technology incubator helps me with those functions.
So the great thing about Arrowhead is it offers opportunities to get real life experience as an entrepreneur. And that's really key because you're able to take what you learn in a classroom and apply it.
This summer, I had the opportunity to work with Arrowhead Center as an enterprise advisor. I'm helping them with transferring technologies from laboratories here on the campus to commercial products.
This gives me the opportunity to take the experience that I have been very fortunate to have accumulated over a number of years, and to not only give that back in a way that makes me feel good about contributing, but it also gives it back in a way that inspires me.
New Mexico State University is all about transforming lives through discovery. And part of that discovery is having all these good students come to our university, kind of discover themselves, discover disciplines they want to study, actually discovering their future.
The idea is to take new technologies in the laboratory and get them to the point where they're ready for commercial products.
And for me to come in as an enterprise advisor and to not only talk about my experience, but walk out of here feeling completely excited, down to my toes, about some of the amazing things that New Mexico is doing right now, which in my mind is a tremendously untapped and unrealized treasure trove of intellectual property.
Arrowhead allowed us to get a prototype, and now we're at the stage where we're seeking private investment to upscale our operations.
I've been developing expertise in what's called SBIRs, which are Small Business Innovation Research Grants. I worked with 35 Solar on an SBIR. We submitted it in June to the Army, and this was an opportunity for trying to build flexible, almost clothing that has solar power attached to it.
There is so much great innovation, so many great minds, so much great passion here that to bring it together under one roof like this, it's unprecedented. I find tremendous inspiration around being associated with the part of the world that is starting new technologies, the minds behind new innovations, the passion that students bring whenever they have a new idea and can't wait to see it on a store shelf somewhere.
New Mexico State said, you're the professional, you can call your shots. So one of the themes of my laboratory is to utilize wastes and convert them to resource. So the example is dairy manure becomes electricity through the microbial process of electron transport. Without Arrowhead, I'm renting laboratory space, I'm renting equipment. Arrowhead has helped me and a number of other researchers bring our ideas to actuality, to the marketplace, to actual application. And if not, they remain in the laboratory.
Technology is an exciting way to start a new business because typically you get high-paying jobs out of it, and there's more funding opportunity available.
We're using about 10 enterprise advisors from engineering and the business college primarily. And to add to that, we've recently brought in a senior executive from eBay International, Susanna Cass, who's been really fantastic in connecting us with Silicon Valley and some of our growth ideas.
My focus is to discover intellectual property, identify new innovation, accelerate new technology that we're going to be able to find, work with the collaborators at New Mexico State University, and bring them all to the commercial marketplace.
What we're trying to do is utilize a new system that couples photosynthesis, the capture of energy from sunlight, with carbon dioxide concentration from the atmosphere to produce biomass that's rich in energy. We've worked with Arrowhead to file patents associated with our algal wastewater to energy process.
We look at many different technologies, and through the process of a very sound scientific approach, we'll be able to gather the key value and the key innovation that we see.
Getting across the so-called valley of death between a proof of concept idea that looks really good and being able to make that economically viable. It's a difficult process. Not all inventors are prepared or even capable of transitioning that valley of death without people that understand the business sector.
We know that through this process, we will be able to deliver real value, economic value, and social value of the work that we do in the energy sector.
We've received several recent grants from the National Science Foundation as well as the Department of Energy to do this work.
We're in a time of change, and we need creative solutions to some really serious problems that we're facing. Drought, climate change, population growth with a shrinking water supply. The brain power that we're developing at the Technology Incubator can really bridge between the academic research at the university and the real world where it gets deployed. It also puts me in an environment where I'm dealing with people who have other similar interests in water and agriculture and natural resources management.
We're bringing students in and teaching them how to do things, how to solve problems. We're doing research and solving those people problems, and we're exhaling solutions. And that helps not only New Mexico State University, helps our students, it helps our state, it helps our country.
One of the advantages of working here in New Mexico is working with very creative people. It's a unique technological landscape.
We can coordinate all these people and helping our customers and bring some real value to them.
We come to these things like, oh, we're going to learn how to pitch, like there's a secret to pitching. No, forget all that. The secret is listening.
We've been training really hard to learn about how to pitch to investors, how to pitch to students, or other parties involved in this process.
Before you get to the idea, the first thing he's asking himself is, can she sell? If you can't sell me, then you're not going to be able to sell the people at Dow Chemical. You're not going to be able to sell the alliance partner. You're never going to get shelf space at Walmart, whatever that deal is.
You know, there were things that I never even expected. You know, I didn't know what an executive summary was in a business plan. You know, I developed a business plan, but it looked more like a novel.
We really look at all the aspects of a technology and are able to tell you how to go about getting your company started.
With Arrowhead's advice, direction, and guidance, we actually won an award this year as one of the top 10 new technologies in New Mexico. As part of that same event, we were offered and received a grant from Sandia National Laboratories, $100,000. These are opportunities that would have never existed if it hadn't been for the Arrowhead Center.
You know, what you make you want to do this? And I said, just to see if I can do it.
The world just kind of boils down to what are the right opportunities out there and what's the right congruence of opportunity and the technology you have together, and finding how that really speaks to customers. And if it speaks to customers in an exciting way, it'll speak to you in an exciting way, and together really cool things can happen.
NMSU's been a really great place for me. I got my MBA here, I got my bachelor's here, and I'm finishing up a doctorate degree in economic development. I've learned a lot about business and economics from the academic side, and what I've had the opportunity to do at Arrowhead is apply all that and become an entrepreneur and learn what you can't learn in the classroom.
And so what we're doing right now is starting with education, moving through research and discovery. Now we're moving over to the Arrowhead Center and developing entrepreneurs and creating new companies based upon this education, this discovery, and as a consequence, now at New Mexico State, we connect the dots.
And that's the role that Arrowhead plays at New Mexico State, and we're happy to have them behind us as we generate innovative ideas that solve problems at the energy, water, and environment nexus.